if sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the sanctuary marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our second show here on the Sanctuary Network. We are very pleased to have you. I know many of you will be listening in replay as well. And we got off to a great start last week. And I just am so excited about the different guests that we have lined up and the different topics that we've got to talk about. So our guest tonight, and I apologize for starting late, is having some technical difficulty. So hopefully we're going to be able to get her on. But as always, I would like to start the show talking about current affairs. Anyway, so I am sorry, technical difficulties. What's going on? What's happening now? If you are in the New Thought communities, if you are in a spiritual path of enlightenment, what are kind of some things that you might be looking at, that you might be interested in? We talked last week about 3-Eye Atlas, and if you had not heard about that, that is the third interstellar thing that has ever come into our solar system. The first one was Oumuamua, if you heard about that, and it's spelled a little different than it sounds, but never before have things come into our solar system. And this one to me is really interesting, and I know that NASA is really downplaying it, but I've been reading that wow signal, if anybody's been following extraterrestrial or UFO type things, in around the late 70s, there was a signal that was really clearly um, uh, from an advanced, thing. This was not an accident. This wasn't just like space noise. And they tracked that to exactly where 3-Eye Atlas would have been around that time that signal was received. But that had disappeared behind the sun for a while. I'm looking at my notes here, and is going to be closest to the Earth on December 19th. So it's December 10th right now, but December 19th, 20th, 21st is going to be some really powerful days, kind of impactful. And one of the reasons is we're having huge solar flares right now. Also not uncommon, happens all the time. But we had a huge, enormous solar flare Monday, almost a level 2, if you are kind of keep track of that. But suffice to say, it was gigantic. So, of course, it's going to, the electromagnetic frequencies are going to affect the earth in different ways. We might feel it. Those that are a little bit more sensitive might feel it, but it definitely interacts with electronic equipment, Wi-Fi, internet. So not to be surprised about that. Similar to what we discussed in our last show, a lot of people are just feeling like things are very chaotic right now, but also in their life, they're just feeling crazy, for lack of a better word. They're just feeling like they're not themselves. And uh, it's just something that's really different. So it's not just you. No, this is the times that we're going through. The earth is evolving just like humanity is. The more awake that we become, and I don't even really love to use that word. The more spiritually in tune we become with each other, the more that we lead with our heart and we think with our heart, the more that we're going to evolve to a higher vibration. And the earth is going through the same thing. It's a 28,000 year cycle. That's why this was able to have been prophesized. Um, so, this, we're just right on schedule. There we are. So, but also the 19th, 20th, 21st is the solstice and a new moon. We just had a full moon this week. And if you pay attention to those things, you do kind of notice a little bit of an ebb and flow. And I want to just make a note to my producer, Sierra. I'm getting texts from our guest saying that she can't get in. So if you could assist her. Um, so again, there's just a lot going on right now. There's also a comet called the R2 Swan. And if you're interested in celestial type things, personally, I'm really interested in extraterrestrials and first contact. I do believe that there are other civilizations, that there are other beings that have sort of left us to our own devices on this planet for a long time. And I think that that is part of what the Three Eye Atlas is about. I think that we just need to slowly warm up to the ideas that we're not alone in this solar system. So I wanted to just let everybody know that that the 19th, 20th, and 21st are going to be a very important and powerful dates to kind of check on that. So while we're waiting for our guests to get in, I will remind everybody we do two events at the sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirits that we produce. Spirit Fest USA, which is going to be metaphysical, holistic, and crystals. And it's gotten to be very popular, and partly because it's community. There's so much that we can do online, but there's just some things about being in person that just cannot be replaced. We're doing them throughout Florida next year. All of our shows are on our website, spiritfestusa.com. But we've got two shows coming up in about a month's time. The first one is going to be January 11th weekend in Port St. Lucie. And we do have some special guests, a mediumship gallery. We're having special guests added too. As a matter of fact, if you check the website, be sure to check back. But then the week after we'll be in St. Pete, and that's also a very popular show with everybody. So if you're interested in our guests and what we do, I do hope that you'll check out Spirit Fest. Then we've got the Natural Wellness Expos that we started because we were attracting so many holistic health practitioners that we really wanted to just focus on health, wellness, healthy living, healthy lifestyles, even just ways of life. So we even had a funeral home contact us today and asked if they could be part of our shows. And we thought that was a great idea because the only thing that's certain is death and taxes. So, we do want people that are more interested in helping people live sort of heart-centered living. So, naturalwellnessexpo.com is that website, and everything is on our website, thesanctuarynetwork.com. So, Sierra, if you don't mind, could we go to break and see what we could do about getting our guest in? Because we've got a really exciting show ready for you guys tonight. We've got a lot of photos to share, spirit photography, and information about some of the missing persons cases that she's worked on. So if you'll stay tuned with us, hang in there, and then we'll be right back. Yay, we are back, and we have our special guest with us now. We're so excited. Remember earlier in the first spot, I was talking about solar flares and all the electromagnetic frequencies that are going out there, and they're causing a lot of disruptions in electronic things, especially Wi-Fi. So here we are. We're sprayed. We are all set. We've got a lot to talk about today. So Mary Lawton Johnson, internationally recognized psychic medium and remote viewer. You are also called a retrocognizant medium, which is very special and very unusual, and we'll get into that in a minute. She's listed as one of the top 3 psychic mediums in the world. You've got 2 shows on YouTube channels, but you have done notably casework finding missing people.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to talk about those too. So I don't even know where to start. There's so many things. So let's talk first about you being psychic medium. How did that start for you?
I was a kid and I thought my parents were having a bridge party every night because I would see all these people standing at the edge of my bed. So I would build forts and I would throw all my stuffed animals. And it wasn't just me, it was my identical twin sister, Amy. And so to try and block them because there were so many people and they were kind of like dark shadow figures, it was middle of the night. So I developed a habit of covering up, sleeping with the light on, wearing a hoodie to kind of, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that there were people there. So as I got older, then, I hid my gift, Mary Ellen. I hid it for, oh gosh, 35 years
Wow.
because I grew up in the deep Bible Belt South. And a lot of people would not understand a gift like mine. And
Sure.
then I finally reached the point where, you know, um, screw it, I'm coming out, and came out of the proverbial closet with my gift. And so it went from um knowing things before they happen to seeing, the dead, to being able to see where a person was if they showed up on TV. This person is missing, and of
Mhm.
course I would say, well, she's here, she's there, or he's there, and it's changed to what it is now, which is, retrocognizant medium, which means I can go back into the past. Like if someone were to show me a photo of someone missing,
Mhm.
basically I'm taking a walk with that soul.
Mhm.
If they have passed, I'm
Uh-huh.
taking a walk. I can see what happened, who was there, who did it, what the
Wow.
scenery looks like.
Mhm.
We know that pretty much is like remote viewing. It's got so many terms.
Mhm.
If you held up an envelope and told me to tell you what's in the envelope, I would have a hard time with that. But if you showed me a picture of little Johnny missing from Brazil, I can
Mhm.
say he took this path. This is what the streets look like. And I could draw a map as to what
Wow.
he's showing me.
Mhm.
So that's why I prefer retrocognizant. I can go back into the past. It's like being a fly on the wall.
How did you start with your first case locating a missing person?
That was the Alex Holland case. That Alex Holland went missing, and I had given a reading to Colin, who was a friend of the family. And he's like, you have to help them if you can. I said, I'll try my best. So as soon as I connected with Rachel, the mother, Rachel Holland,
Mhm.
I am driving down US 1 in Lake Worth, Florida. I just dropped my cat off at the vet, and I look up and there is Alex hanging from a street sign, which is like 12 feet in the air. I'm like, what? And I saw his eyes and they locked with mine. And I'm driving like 30 miles an hour, about wrecked my car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Alex moved to Florida and didn't tell anybody. Well, no. I looked in the rearview mirror and he was gone. And
Wow.
and it just, that was the very first one. And I connected as soon as I connected with his mother. It was almost like a vision. I was walking down this dirt road with Alex, and there was this beautiful Gothic church on the left. And I'm standing there looking at the church, trying to remember what I see. And then I looked to the right and it was all marsh, canals,
Mhm.
water that way on the right. So I turn and I look at the church again. And Alex goes, I have to go. I said, okay. And I look and he's walking down towards the marsh. So I drew what I saw. And then I had to go to a geographical map and find those two items and circle it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So and I told his mother he would be found face down in water. He was carried to the location. They
Mhm.
would find clues as to, to make sure that he was carried. And one shoe was found on him, and one shoe was found a mile and a half away.
Oh my gosh. And where was this?
Sandwich Bay in Kent, England.
Okay.
A lot of my cases, cold cases, believe it or not, that I've solved have been overseas.
Mhm.
I did solve one in the US, and I unfortunately cannot remember the lady's name. I think it was out in Minnesota, where her husband had buried her in barrels and then buried them
Oh,
underneath. Yeah, and I solved it on air on my
wow.
podcast.
There
So
was a famous this was not at all what I intended to ask you, a famous missing persons case here in Orlando. I don't know if you ever heard of her
she
name.
had blonde hair.
Her name was Jennifer Kessie, and I'm not sure what she looked like. But she disappeared going to
Mhm.
work one morning. Um,
Yeah, I think I had her case on my podcast.
oh,
have-
okay.
I'll have to go back and look, but I saw woods and water with her, wo-
Okay.
especially woods. And
Uh-huh.
the guy looked to be of Hispanic. He
Mhm,
had the darker look to him.
mhm.
So, but yeah, I think, don't quote me, blonde hair at the time, or I'll have to go back and look.
They never found her, so that was part
Yeah.
of what the big
Hmm.
mystery was. But um, well, and I'm sure that you are helping these families so much by being able to resolve these things. But it's also very validating of proof of life after death when you can connect with people from the other side.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have people that are messaging us wondering, about loved ones, and you will take a few callers a little bit later. So if you do want to ask Mary a question, 800-930-2819, and our producer will be able to make contact with that, and then we'll see what comes up. But so part of your ability to, as a psychic medium, I will say,
Mhm.
is that you have started seeing spirits and photos, but that's a little bit of a different medium than just seeing their spirit getting your attention on the highway. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Well, it's so funny because um, I never really knew I had this gift until like maybe 2016, 2000. Maybe I knew it before then, but I started taking photos and I'm looking in my photos. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's King Louis of France in the picture, a group.
Sierra, we have that picture, by the way, if you can pull that up.
And I thought it was a slave in the palace.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't. And so a friend of mine who's a historian, Elizabeth, she looked at it. She said, "That's not a slave. If you notice, it's that mink stole that the kings would wear around to identify them as kings. So he
Hmm.
was wearing this, but he was bald and toothless. And it's a group photo. My boss at the time they had shut down the whole palace of Versailles, so we had a private tour.
Wow.
And oh yeah, and so of course I'm there taking the photo, and there he is.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I thought it was a slave or someone that worked at the
Uh-huh.
palace. I did not know it was the king.
I'm trying to see if she can pull that up. It's the first one. Um, uh, so tell me about some of these. So that was 2016. You've not been doing this very long then.
No, when I came out with the ability to capture, I thought it was the iPhone, Mary Ellen. I didn't realize it was a gift. So when my iPhone died, I knew I had to get a new iPhone. I'm like, no, I'm not giving it up. It's the iPhone. No, it wasn't the iPhone.
Right, right. So really what's happening is your consciousness is merging with the electronic equipment. And that is a phenomena. So everybody can do it, but not everybody does. A lot of times we might be in fear a little bit, but if you go in asking that, reflecting it, she is showing that picture, by the way, right now of the, we
Oh,
can't
she
see it
is?
on our screen though,
Okay.
of the chandelier. To where is he in that picture?
He's in the very back. You'll see. Let me see if I can. I'll pull it up on. Is it on YouTube? Can I see it on YouTube so I can
Uh,
look at the chandelier? Look directly underneath the chandelier.
okay, okay.
He's dark. He's got like he looks dark, dead gray dark. That's the only way I can describe him.
So let's look at a few more pictures too, and then maybe we could go back to that. So let's go to the ones. Um, I'm looking at it Facebook. I've got another screen open and I can actually see it on Facebook. And I apologize. I thought we'd see it right here on our screen. Some of the ones that are with the trees, Sierra, I think that she had them labeled.
Oh, here we go. Let's see which. So 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 all of these photos have one thing in common.
Uh-huh.
And so when we're talking about signs, symbols, and imagery, this is how spirit can communicate. In other words, for me, it's signs, symbols, and imagery. And of course, they'll speak in my ear. I can hear them, clairaudient. I have all of the C's, and a lot more. But for the most part, like little Johnny in Scotland, and I solved this. The mother didn't know what happened to her son, and in the reading, he came through holding a red car door, and he had run his red car off the cliff and died. And he showed up in the reading with a red car door. Couldn't speak because he lost his head, but so he had the red car door symbol, a sign, an image.
Okay.
Okay. And all of my photos have one thing in common, and it's what they have done to others or what they have had done to them by others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the slaves hanging in the tree,
Uh-huh.
okay, because they were hung from the tree, they're stuck, okay, and this is what mankind, I don't know why we use the word kind, but mankind did to them. So when I go to a location, it's to say, hey, you're free, you can walk home, you can go home.
Right.
One of the slaves hanging in the tree, I asked him, I said, why haven't you left this place? He said, I can't, my family's in the field. And I said, well, maybe in your dimension they may be, but it's the future now. There is no more slavery and you can go. You don't
Right.
have to stay.
Right.
But a lot of these photos are trauma inflicted upon other people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a message from spirit, and i I think I have to carry this message through my photos, that
Mm-hmm.
this is what was done to others. So the message is to forgive, to love,
Mm-hmm.
and especially forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others.
Right. We do seem to be repeating the past. And
Yeah.
the more that we can identify that, and more than ever now, we can see it. In the
Right.
1700s, we couldn't see, the results of some of the atrocities that were going on, and now we can kind of see it live time. So she just showed the picture of the slave in the tree. And my
Right.
question is, when you took that, could you see it when you took it?
Hmm.
Or,
I
okay,
can. Yeah.
okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah, I can see. Whenever I get close to a spirit, I feel like I'm being tasered. I feel like they are I feel like this energy that is zapping me all the time, all the
wow,
time.
wow,
And so, well, yeah, so it's like a conduit, the energy. Everywhere I go, it's like that.
wow.
And yeah,
How do you turn it off?
you don't. You don't.
Wow.
They follow me wherever I go. Like I can set up boundaries, Mary
Uh-huh.
Ellen,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes those boundaries don't work.
Mhm.
But like for instance, Ricky Harris missing in Wales.
Mhm.
Okay. I woke up because I felt like I was being tasered. My heart jumps. I mean, literally, my heart jumps. And I woke up and I'm like, I turned on my video on my iPhone and I said, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Ricky Harris." I said, "Ricky,
Wow.
we've been looking for your body for a while now."
Uh-huh.
And so they will come to me wherever I go, wherever I am. And
Right.
I have,
Because they know you can hear them.
yeah, I can hear them, I can see them, I can take photos of them.
Wow. Okay, we've got a caller, John from Michigan. So let's take a quick call and then we'll talk about some of the missing persons cases.
Okay.
Okay, here is John from Michigan.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
John.
John.
Uh, hello.
Hi,
Hi.
thanks for calling.
Hey, Mary?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I'm sorry. My voice is. My voice is a little hoarse. I was just wondering. For a reading, I just yeah. What did you need to know from me, or
Nothing. So
do you want me to ask a question?
who's the man that just passed? I got
That would be my father.
Okay. All right. And I see a woman um standing behind him, but I think the woman is living. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, is that your mom? Is that your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what do you want to know from me?
I just wanted to know if he made it to the other side or if he's stuck
I
as far as
so I think his grandfather came to get him at the moment of his death, and
okay.
I don't think it's his dad. And the reason I say that is I think there was some pull and tug there in that relationship, but I think the grandfather and grandmother came to get him, and I feel like he's having to go through some retraining, you get me, before he can make the next
Yeah.
level on the other side.
That would make sense, definitely. Yeah, and his grandparents raised him more than his mother. So
Really?
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
Cool.
specific.
yeah, his mother was kind of mi. Yeah, she kind of pawned him off and his brother off onto relatives growing up.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm so sorry, sorry that he had that
Oh,
kind of childhood, I guess. But so he
mhm.
is directly in their care, which means that they are kind of showing him around, and he's not stuck. He would have been stuck had they not shown up at the moment of his death.
Okay,
And
yeah, that would
and
make sense because I was just
that
a little like I had my peace with him, but it just happened. I was just wondering if he, had been lingering about.
Okay. No, uh-uh. I don't think so. I think at
Okay,
some point he will come back through and offer apologies. I think he will offer an
okay,
apology. So what we have to learn as humans on this side is the ability to forgive. Okay. At some
I've
point.
forgiven him already. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Super.
Yes, I was able to have my peace with him before he passed. But yeah, I forgave him.
That's great.
I
Thank you
think
so
that
much.
helps everybody, John. It helps you, it helps them on the other side. I think that's a very beautiful gift that you could give him.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
Yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate you calling and hope to hear from you another time.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
John.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's amazing, Mary. That's very specific, the information that you get coming through.
I mean, well, sometimes spirit will show me imagery, in a vision, and it's like, okay, it may not make sense at the
Mhm,
time,
mhm,
but they are never wrong, and they are very specific.
mhm.
And so, I just pass the message, So
Right, right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Let's talk about one of the missing cases that you did. If you can tell the name, Sierra, our producer will pull up the photos and display it on the live feed there. Um, there was one that was, I think, a mother and a son that you sent the picture of.
right, that's Alex Holland.
Okay, all right. Tell us about that one then.
So I saw Alex, and he walked off into the marsh, and of course he said, I have to go now, and he walked off towards the marsh, the water. And I'm like, oh gosh, so now I have to find this area, this Gothic church on one side and the marsh on the other. So I went to Google Earth, and I'm looking at a place I've never been to before, and I found it. But how I found it, it was just looking at a map. And so basically it is feeling their energy coming through the map.
Mm-hmm.
Same like Jay Slater when he went missing in Tenerife. It's like I went to the mountain, a side of a mountain, and I felt his energy on the side of a mountain, and I circled it, and that's where they found his body.
She's showing
That
the map now. That's amazing.
So I circled the map in Kent. But the thing about having this gift is I also see, like, if it's not self-induced and at the hands of another, I can see who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes with a lot of responsibility. Um, and of course, I don't know their names unless Spirit will say on my iPhone who did it. And sometimes they do. So I give descriptions to the family and to the police.
Okay.
And so the police already have an idea, but I gave the descriptions to Alex Holland's mother. She sent me photos, and I can pick them out.
So have you worked with the police a lot?
I did LA, Los Angeles police once, and then Kent police, but most of their police force for the Alex Holland case took early retirement when I finished with them.
Wow. Wow. Why do you think that was?
Because they didn't do their job.
Yeah. Wow. What
And
about Los Angeles? Can you talk about that case?
I was taken out to Los Angeles by a friend of mine who's a TV producer, and they were looking for a little boy. And I said, the little boy is not in this lake; he's in the second lake. So we were at the first lake. The second lake was like 60 miles away, and I can't remember the little boy's name. But I described the father.
Mhm,
I described who I thought took the little boy to the lake, because the
mhm.
little boy showed me these brown shoes. And and I'm telling the police officer this, the detective who was assigned to me, and he's like, how does she know all of this? I said, well, I'm talking to the little boy.
Mhm.
And they found the little boy in the second lake,
Wow.
like 5 days later.
Oh, that's amazing that you were able to help them with that. That's fantastic. How long ago was that?
Oh, that's probably, when did I go out there? 2016, 2017.
Okay.
The
What
father,
is the reception like with the police?
cold.
Uh-huh.
There was one, but because they're very scientific. They go off of data, they go off of forensics. They don't understand a psychic and how she gets, or a medium, and how they get their information. So
Mhm.
it was pretty cold. Now Cumberland police in England were the chief of police said, I will listen to Mary with whatever she has to say whenever she has to say it.
Wow.
And because that had to do with Glenn Jackson, he went missing. And
Uh-huh.
I was on a young man who probably kind of strayed off the path, recreational type
Mhm.
stuff he was doing on the side. And I was on the phone with his mother, and I said, "You're going to see it's a farm, and you're going to see a Land Rover that belongs to the farm." I'm on the phone with her,
Mhm.
and it's pulling an animal cart with slats on it where you can move the slats up and down and have the animals load and unload.
Mhm.
And as I'm on the phone with her, the Land Rover pulled in front into the farm carrying animals in a wagon that had slats.
Wow.
And she just about had a heart attack. And I said, "He is in the next field over. He is face down a canal." Sure enough, they found him there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
I drew a map. I
yeah.
always draw a map for
Right.
any missing person. Always.
So when you do readings, if people have a similar situation where a loved one is missing,
Hmm.
how would they contact you, and then would they schedule a reading with you, or how do you get started on something like that?
All they have to do is email me and send me a picture. I don't charge for missing persons. I
Mm.
believe that the family, loved ones are going through enough grief to have, rather than to have someone come up and say, "That'll be $3,000 for finding your missing loved one." I'm sorry.
Right.
I charge for readings. I don't charge for missing people. And
Wow.
and I've caught a lot of flack for that, okay?
Mhm.
But I just don't think it's right. So all
Mhm.
they have to do is email me at the real Mary the medium at gmail.com.
Okay.
Send
Okay.
me a, send me a photo, and it starts from there.
And your website, marythemedium.com,
Yes,
your email address is on there as well, right?
yeah, the real
Okay.
Mary the medium at gmail.com. Yeah.
And then if people would like to get a reading from you, to get more information about their loved ones that have crossed over, they would do that through the website as well, right?
That's correct. They can book readings. They can book anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour.
Okay. That's a fantastic that you're able to do that. Some of the photos that you sent were Becky Beard. Do you want to tell us about that? And then our producer will pull up some of those photos as well.
Okay. So Becky Beard is a 40-year-old cold case out of Clute, Texas. Her sister contacted me almost 3 years ago and asked me to come out there. So I did. I flew out there, and we were walking through one of the fields that they thought. And it's really funny. I had all of these spirits start talking to me when I was out there in the field, trying to get a feel for where I felt her. And one of them says, and this is part of the Becky Beard case. One of them says, "Anastasia." I said, "Okay, what are you doing here?" And then she says the name Bell. Okay. So while I'm looking for Becky Beard, I stumbled upon a victim of the serial killer, William Bell, who is buried on the old Sheriff King's land. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
there are other bodies buried there because they're giving me their names. But one of them in particular was Anastasia, who was killed by William Bell, who died, I think, in 2019. He was a serial killer that traveled through Clute, Texas,
Wow.
and killed two. They know of two girls, but there's a third one. But Becky was last seen um, at a party. And so Spirit, the minute that I got there, well, the minute I was sent her photograph by my friend who is a producer in Hollywood, all he sent me was her photo. That photo I sent you.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, because I don't want to know anything about the missing person. I just wait for Spirit to tell me. And there was all of these words like College Park, oyster, um, and refuge, and I drew a map. First thing I did was draw a map, and then I got all these names. A
Wow.
cross,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So my map matches an area that they are searching for. It also, Becky also showed me two men involved in this.
Mhm.
So I can't say their names because they are pretty big in the community there.
So they've not been caught?
They have not been caught yet.
Boy.
Now, and the authorities, it involves a lot of high-powered people
Right.
because they were covering up for a drug business,
Mhm.
okay, that has to do with the cartel coming into a big, mess. So, um, so they are searching, and my map matches identical to where they are searching. So, fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. We've got a caller, a lady, Elaine from Florida, that's got a quick question, and we've got about 5 minutes till we go to the break. So if
Okay.
we could get Elaine on here and see what her question is.
Okay.
Awesome. Here comes Elaine.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hey, Elaine.
Hi. I was wondering if you have any word from my grandson that recently passed.
So he's showing me like a ball or something. Did he play baseball or some sort of sport like soccer or something? Baseball? Because he's showing
Football.
football. Okay. So he's carrying that with him as a validation that I am talking to him. Um Okay, and he says he's fine. So is your mother passed, or obviously your grandmother is passed, but he is with a woman on the other side. Is that your mom or is that your grandmother? I got like a mother.
It's my mother, yes.
Yes, your mother. He is with her, and then I think there a grandfather that he is hanging around with,
Yes,
like a father figure. Okay. No, he's fine. He's great. He's good. Was it
good.
in was it okay, because the two things that he's showing, and maybe you could clarify for me, accident like an accident, but not. What happened to your 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 family member?
Um, he hit a semi head on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Like an accident, but not. Did he lose
Did he have,
control?
well, and
Right.
that's what we wondered. Did he have a medical emergency, maybe a seizure or something?
I felt like it was. I felt like there was, um, like he couldn't. I don't know if he had asthma, but I feel like his eyes. He could not breathe, or something happened to him where his eyes rolled back. So so was he prone to epileptic seizures?
Well, his father started having them at that age, and we just kind of wondered.
Wow.
I, I I got that it was an accident, that he lost control of the car, the wheel, um, and that it was due to a medical malady.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Elaine. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
Thank you for calling, Elaine. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Wow. Football.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking, but I do hope that it brings some peace to the family, knowing and understanding. We've got about a minute left. So somebody had asked the question, do you ever get scared? Like when you were a kid, did it scare you?
Oh, as a child, yes. Now, no.
Right. When I was a kid, I could see and hear things other people couldn't too, and I thought everybody could, but it did scare me. Especially when I realized I still I don't want to say my age, but I'm still afraid of the dark.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah.
Notice
Oh,
all the lights in my room? I got lots of light in
and
my
it's not that I
room.
think that anything's going to hurt me. I just don't like not being able to see. Um,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but early on, I asked not to see them because it did scare me, and now I'm a little bit more open to it. But just give me a little warning. It's so I don't know about you, but it is weird when you come around the corner and boop, there is somebody that you know is just.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, that's anyway. All right, well, we're gonna go take some commercial breaks now, and we've got another half an. Oh my gosh, the time flies by. So we've got another half an hour. We're gonna talk to Mary some more, talk about more of her cases, take a few more calls, and then I'm gonna be giving conscious business tips at the end of our show too for people that are in or are thinking about being in the conscious business marketplace. So anyway, Sierra, take us to break and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is a really exciting show with psychic medium Mary Lawton Johnson. We have gotten into so many interesting things about missing people, cold cases that she solved, her being able to contact those on the other side, especially to be able to give affirmation of life after death. It's so interesting and amazing and profound the work that you're doing. But one of the other things that you got interested in that sort of resonates with me a little bit is the Salem witch trials. And am I embarrassed? What's the word? I was mortified to find out that my 10th great grandfather, his son, and his nephew were the ones that were responsible for starting the Salem witch hysteria in Salem Village. The last name was Putnam. And I only realized this a couple of years ago. I'm really big into genealogy. And when I found that, I was just flabbergasted. I was horrified. But I looked at where I am now and the work that I'm doing now, and I kind of wondered maybe I'm helping to kind of heal some of this familial wounds that have been caused by my ancestors. I haven't really processed it fully. But tell us about your experience at Salem Village.
So I didn't know where I was. I just knew I wanted to go to Salem. So in 2018, because I go to New Hampshire 6 months out of the year, I I am driving around. So I park my car. I start walking around. I go, oh, this is a pretty cemetery. This is a really old cemetery. They call it the Old Burying Grounds, but it has another name, but I don't know what the name is on Derby Street. I had no idea where I was or what I was looking at. So I started taking pictures, but I knew I wasn't alone. So I started taking pictures, and here's the Salem witch trials playing out in my photos.
Wow.
One was Patuba. Um, I think that was her. I'm not really good with the name part. She was a Caribbean domestic slave, and she was one of the first to be hung in the Salem witch trials. So I got, and I didn't know who she was when I first saw her in the pictures. She's got a black dress on. She has a child by the hand in the photo, but she was being led to her death in that photo.
When you're in the looking, they're showing the photo now. There was no people in that cemetery when you took that picture.
Nobody, because I go super early in the morning in case I'd have to go into work in the late evening, the afternoon. So I go super early in the morning.
Wow.
Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
Wow.
Now, I have been there and taken photos when there are people there and they still show up, but
Mhm.
the other people walking around don't see them. I do, you know.
Uh-huh.
And
That's interesting.
then in the second photo, Salem Witch Trials, there is a lady with auburn hair leading the witch trials charge, turned around, and there's a man in that photo. It looks like he has a bag over his head. You can't see who it is, but he's bent over putting bags on two victims' heads. And the woman, I believe to be Miss Putnam.
Whoa.
She
Wow.
appears in another photo I have, and
Okay.
she's still standing there in that cemetery. She's standing there.
She didn't say my name, did she? No, I'm just kidding.
No, 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 but they knew I was there. And I guess they wanted to show me what had been done to other people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then when you realize that it was all just made up, it was all just propaganda. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know. It was
that just, yeah,
power.
well, some of it, as we know,
Yeah,
kitchen witches are people that, I'm
yeah.
half Ukrainian, and a lot of people from Ukraine have a lot of what's the word I want? Traditions, let's just say,
Hmm. Sure.
that
Yeah.
could be perceived in a different way. Um, so what else did you get when you were there in Salem? Did you get any more information or have any more realizations?
I did. As a matter of fact, I went there in October. I took my nephew, who just moved to Boston, and so we were walking, going to breakfast super early in the morning, like 7:30, before the huge crowds came in. For the end of October, people just go nuts up there, and so I sent them ahead. I said, "You guys just go ahead because there's that tasering." There's that feel like I'm being jolted by an electric current.
Mhm.
And so I sent them ahead, go on, and I started taking pictures of the bank. I knew they were there. I couldn't see them this time.
Mhm.
And then I finally saw her. And she is my identical twin sister who died in 2002, and she was there protecting me from whatever that thing. And I sent a picture to you. It's scary looking. It was coming out of a tree. There looked like a portal coming
Okay.
out of a tree, and she is standing there looking at this thing, protecting me from whatever this thing was. And this face looks like a distorted, contorted face in pain. And just so she was there protecting me, watching over me
Mhm.
as I
Wow.
walked past the cemetery to Red's, which is a little breakfast restaurant just right in
Uh-huh.
the corner.
Wow.
And never in my wildest dreams would I thought that something that evil would come after me,
Mhm.
but she made sure it didn't. She and many other angels, I call her my angel, but that was Amy, my twin sister. And I sent the photo of her. It's kind of blurry, Um, but when she realized, and I felt like I knew the person. It was like, I know you, and it was Amy. And I'm like, just stop it. I can hear her in my videos sometime going, Beth.
Aw. Aw.
Yeah.
So why do you think that there was something that was dark do you think it was attached to Boston? Or what do you think?
No, it was trapped there, and it had something to do with the Salem witch trials because this was a very just a writhing in pain on the other side
Mhm.
kind of. It's that's the only way I can describe it. Do you see that photo?
So yes, she's showing a bunch of the different photos, yes, where the trees were, but we're looking at the one of the tree trunk
Right.
that I think that you had seen out your window.
Um, okay, so let me see. Does it look like this? Does it look like
No,
that?
we did see that one a moment ago though.
Okay. All right. Tree trunk out of my window. Are you talking about this photo of my twin?
No, no, but I'm glad you explained what that was. No, it was a face in a tree trunk.
Face, yeah. This guy?
No,
Face.
no, it's a very clear picture of a tree.
Oh, are you talking about the Moishe Kleinerman case? These
Uh,
faces?
no, I mean it might be. It's a clearer one than that though.
Huh. Okay, so where can I look to see? You
I'm
got
sorry. We'll figure these out in firmer in the
okay.
next shows. I'm sorry.
Oh, I
She had
know.
it up a few moments ago, but I it's not up now, and I don't know.
Okay.
Was there any other of all of the pictures that you sent? Was there any other ones that you wanted to talk about specifically?
Well, so the Moishe Kleinerman case, the one that I just showed,
Hmm.
when I actually had, and I don't know if she has this photo. You can see the guy right there with the dark sunglasses and white beard. Then you can see the
Okay.
guy. He's got cups on his head. He's a secular Jew. And then some dogs. You see the dogs?
Uh-huh.
And then if you look right next to the dogs, it's a face with dark hair and a mustache. I
Hmm.
believe that boy to be Moishe Kleinerman. So when Moishe Kleinerman went missing in Israel, I had some um, Jewish people contact me along with the police and the Kleinerman family. And in my backyard, every Moishi that was missing in Israel showed up. Every one of those people are named Moishi.
Oh my gosh.
So when I was talking to Moishi, I wasn't sure if I was talking to the father of five, or
Sure.
the priest, or the Jewish priest, or Moishi Kleinerman. So they
Uh-huh.
all showed up
Okay.
along with their relatives.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, right. So that's another case I did.
Okay. I texted you the one of the tree that
Oh,
we
you
the
did? Okay, let
yeah.
me see. You texted me. Okay. Okay, this one.
And she's
Oh, yeah. So that one. So I'm actually at work and I'm washing some dishes and I look out the back window and there she is on the tree and she said, Anya. And I said, okay, your name is Anya. And she appears to be like from the 16 or 1700s, obviously killed with an arrow or something shot through the head. But she appears on the tree. I said, you're free. You can go. You
Mhm.
don't have to stay here like this.
Mhm.
And so it was brief, but I got this photo. It's a young girl by the name of Anya.
Wow.
And on that land at work, it's like, oh gosh, I hope my boss doesn't see it.
Right.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't know that many people would or that they would understand what it is.
right,
Um,
they wouldn't.
yeah, but so there's a name for that. Is it transconfiguration where they can kind of make themselves part of nature?
Yeah.
Or something's living too.
Oh yeah, yeah, they can. And
Oh.
I feel like, and I have seen it so many times in my photos where they will come through a tree or show up on a tree.
Mhm.
Like Jack O'Sullivan,
Oh,
okay, who
uh-huh.
was missing in Bristol, England.
Mhm.
Now, his mother came to me for help, and I drew a map as to where he was missing. A 22-year-old that went missing, went to a party, never was seen again. And he described the people involved. Most of them were the people he went to school with.
Mhm.
And uh, that case went 2 years with me working on it.
Mhm.
The mother believed, Catherine O'Sullivan believed that her son was still alive
Mhm.
and following all the leads. And I drew a map as to where his body was. And then at the very end, before we parted ways, he says the word pump hole. I
Mhm.
said, pump hole? And what's that? It turns out that's a sewer hole, and they call it pump holes over there, or a pump to pump the sewage.
Mhm.
So my map, I took my map and I said, well, let me see if I can match it up with something. It fit 2 places. And when I flipped it over and turned it upside down, it fit Hot Wells, Bristol, England, spitting, I mean, exactly.
Wow.
I never even looked at Hot Wells. I
Uh-huh.
never looked at that area. And the eyes line up, everything. I mean, I drew a little red dot and it lines up identical. And right where that red dot is in Hot Wells is a pump hole.
Mhm.
They called it the pump house.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I sent that to her. Um, and then probably 3 months later, she came back to me because she didn't want to hear about her son being dead. She came back to me apologizing, wanting to know if I would help her. I said,
Mhm.
of course I will help you. You
Right.
know, I never stopped,
Wow.
but she
We've
does.
got that map up right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
both of them together. It looks like a whale. And then when you put it on top of the other, that red dot,
How shocked were you when you saw the words "the pump house" on there?
I was like, there's no way. But spirit is never wrong.
Right?
Never. Now that my map does fit one more area, and that's Lay Woods, an area that they have not searched. So 2 places. But
Mhm.
the hits I get off of this are just, and it's electrical hits that I get.
Mhm.
It's the electric current that I get.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
the same with Alex Holland. I knew he was there. I said, I will stake my life on it. He is here.
mhm.
And it's the same with Jack O'Sullivan. I know he's there.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. That is one of the best ways that psychic mediums can do is to trust the information that they get in. When you
Yes.
trust what's coming through and you don't ever doubt it, sometimes they doubt themselves. If the
Yeah.
message sounds really weird,
No, it's
they think,
not.
oh no, this can't be right. But that's amazing that you
I've
got that.
gone through that.
Uh-huh.
Is the information I'm hearing correct? I
Uh-huh.
mean, I had these British spirits hanging out in my house in New Hampshire going, Mary, we're bored. We're leaving now. I got them on video. It's like, because I'm sitting there working on the maps and stuff, and they're like,
That's
Mary,
funny.
we're bored.
I'm thinking of the television show Ghosts. I don't know if you ever watched that. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I
But
have. I
yeah,
love it.
but they
Yeah.
talk to her all the time, and it
Oh,
really
yeah.
is actually very funny.
Yeah, it is. I do love that show.
So, I understand that you could also assist with missing pets too.
I do. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I can read pets, like, send me a photo. I have a pet psychic show and current events on Thursday nights, and then of course missing people, cold cases on Sundays.
On your
But
YouTube channel,
on my YouTube channel, yeah.
The
Right,
Real Mary the Medium. Yes.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's also something. But my advice to anybody would be to get a reading with Mary because so much information comes through and you are so specific, especially when you can go 15 minutes to an hour. For mediumship, I always tell people you really should get more. The longer, the better. Not everybody can always connect as quickly as you can, but sometimes they might want to connect with someone who doesn't automatically come through, and that does take a little
Hmm.
bit more of your time there. So,
Oh,
so,
sure.
yeah. So we are about at the end of our show. We've got about 5 minutes left, and I always like to give some conscious business tips. So, is there anything else you'd like to say? We've got on your website, Mary the Medium, and on YouTube, you're the Real Mary the Medium,
Hmm.
and your shows are on Thursday and Sunday.
Right.
Is there any parting information? And then I'll leave you on here while we close out and talk about business.
Um, Forgive and
Mhm,
love.
mhm,
Those are the two most important lessons we need to learn while we're here on this side,
mhm,
is not only to forgive others, but to forgive ourselves
mhm.
and to love everybody. And I know that's hard with, when you're dealing with criminals or things like that, but
Right.
you have to forgive.
That's beautiful. That's also very profound because sometimes it's a lot easier said than done.
Hmm.
Okay, so you are really just coming out to the public as far as the shows. And not everyone that's in a conscious business is going to do shows, but they do want to reach the public and let people know more about their work. Is there anything that you have found to have been the most helpful as you're getting started?
I mean, you have to believe in yourself. You have to take that leap of faith,
Hmm. Hmm.
So many people, uh, I have friends who would love to do like Spirit Fest or do a YouTube channel, but they're too afraid. You have
Hmm.
to put that fear aside, and
Hmm.
Spirit will guide you. Spirit will lead you.
Yes, yes. And I've always said that if you are drawn to do something,
Hmm.
to be out there, that means there is somebody or somebody's out there that is interested in what you do. If
Yeah.
nobody was interested in what you do, you would not have that draw to be able to put yourself out there. But there's a lot of ways. If you're a reader, you can
Hmm.
try reading for friends, and then we could just try to start small. But that is something that we do like to help with Spirit Fest. We do.
Hmm.
I give one 15-minute call per year to our vendors where I'll actually do one-on-one at the shows. I'll certainly give my best, advice or information, but sometimes it's just the matter of making yourself a website, and
Hmm.
getting on social media and then maybe doing some public things. But yeah, stepping outside your comfort zone is something that you need to do. Business is never, you can't just stay home.
No, no, you can't. And you're going to get the poo-pooers, and then you're also going to get the people who love what you do.
Mhm.
You have to believe in yourself. It's what makes your soul sing.
Yes, that's it. Being in joy, the universe is going to
Hmm.
provide everything that you need when
Hmm.
you do what makes you happy, and that really I
Hmm.
think is the key to everyone. And
Hmm.
then there's another saying. It was from the Bible. Jesus said, "Go home and tell no one." The more that you tell people what your plans are before you started them, the more they're going to poo-poo, like you said.
Right,
So
right.
just do it. Just do it.
Yep,
You can maybe get some business advice or talk to some people that you trust, but don't, just announce at the dinner table what you're going to do because everybody's got an opinion and it's really none of, your business what they.
right, right. No, it's what makes your soul sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's never too late. Don't be afraid. And there's so many different ways to get started now with the different
Hmm.
social media platforms, but a website is imperative. I'll always say that. It really does show that you're serious about what you do. So highly
Hmm.
recommend that. And then Wix, Weebly, they're drag and drop. They're super easy. You could do a one page. Anybody could do it. So we've got about 1 minute here. So Mary, thank you so much for your time tonight
Thanks
and
for
your
having
intelligence and
me.
getting on. I really appreciate it. Solar flares be damned. But people can always find you. I know you'll be at both of our January shows, I believe. And spiritfestusa.com is more information about us. You can always find out about the show on the sanctuarynetwork.com. So thank you to everybody who listened and will be listening going forward. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go, it's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparks something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together, we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.